So it's the crack of evening for me, a nice comfortable 7:30 p.m. after a fairly reasonable day of work and a cloudy day, so no strain for my eyes. But my three companions here have gotten up with the sun. Appropriate coffee injection to keep going. So I appreciate their endurance and their dedication to our hobby.
They have preceded the sun.
Yes.
We're coaxing it out of it. Come on, fella. It's all right. We're going.
All right. So, Jose, I imagine you've seen your character.
Yes, sir. I've reviewed it, and I've chosen a name, and I think I'm ready.
Awesome. Ingvar. It's a good name. So we have Fritz and Elaine and Ingvar. And our setting is the same as the last time. And the time, however, has elapsed. It's a few days later. And the reason for this being, of course, that all the captives needed to be returned home and their injuries and abuses seen to, and the destroyed properties needed to be in some way prepared because, the autumn is not going to last forever. And the recovery of all the herd animals, the goats and the sheep, that was a primary concern. And over the last few days, contact has been made between the different holdings and steadings throughout this mountain region of other people who have seen the raiders past or who also suffered from their attack. And to deal with our absent friend, Craig, I thought it would be a good idea if Brahm were the one to be elected to notify the clan chieftain of the events, and that Ingvar, played by Jose, is also having suffered the ravages of the raiders, also coming home to the same kind of depredations, has followed the trail and it has led him to Fritz and Elaine. And so, it is evening. Everyone has worked hard, preparing for winter, seeing to the stores, seeing to the livestock, checking in on the recovered captives. But one important thought, I would say, is hanging over all conversations. And that is the confessions of the surviving raiders, the ones who were disabled and could beg for their lives and plead for forgiveness because it wasn't their intention. It wasn't their plan.
They're just misunderstood.
They're worried about being misunderstood. They were protecting themselves. For there is a new warlord, a new overlord, a new claimant to the seat of the clan chief high in the mountains. And he and his immediate followers show no mercy to anyone. And according to the survivor who spoke the most, he has the ear of God. When he speaks, the mountain shakes. When he is angry, the thunder rumbles, and the people of the high mountains know that he is the chosen one among them, for the gods listen to him.
Hope we're not around when he farts.
So they allege that then they raided our settlements to provide him with tribute.
And
Oh,
to
okay.
prepare for, to feed his army through the winter, for in the spring they are coming.
Because they took slaves, right? They took our people as slaves. So this is all meant to placate this warlord. Does this warlord have a name? Do they name him something?
He does. And he is known, let's say colloquially, as Iron Arm, right, for his mighty sinews, but has a regularly normal name of simply Carl. So Carl Iron Arm. But they speak of him with abject fear. Like, when they come to a point where they would mention his name, or they would use a pronoun like he, they literally look over their shoulders.
Yes, makes sense. They fear this man, and they believe him to be favored by the gods.
Well, the problem is if he's building an army large enough that he needs to raid half the countryside for the winter, he's gonna use it come the thaw. No fool builds an army to let it just eat all their goats.
True. So there will be, he will be invading all our lands come spring. Did we get like weapons from these guys? Did we get like swords? And I can't remember if they had like axes or swords. I know there was at least one sword that
You recovered two
Fritz
of
got.
the long swords and one of this shortened, former polearm, now simply two-handed axe.
All right. So I guess I'll take the other sword. And those are like two-handed, right? Those are not.
They're
regular,
long swords, so typically used in two hands. Although you can use it one-handed.
Okay. And
Nobody makes the mountain shake. Nobody makes the mountain shake. Nobody has the ears of God. It doesn't matter whether this man's taking another army down here. It matters, but he's already taken everything from me already.
Can these prisoners tell us where the Iron Arm's headquarters is?
If you let him live, he will guide you there.
We shouldn't take the one that almost cut his leg off, because it'll take forever. So let's he's a somewhat healthier fellow with us. But yeah, I for one would like to go there, meet this Carl, and bring back his head or some other part of his body. His tongue. I want his tongue.
Right, because understandably during the winter there won't be anything going on in the high mountains. It will be buried under snow. They'll be spending most of their time in halls, and not surrounded by every warrior and whatnot. They'll be in family groups, and so.
It'll definitely be good to see for ourselves what this man is about. We'll have to pretend to join his army, I suppose. We'll be clanless warriors, perhaps seeking to join him. right?
Do
A
does he?
subterfuge.
Yeah. Do volunteers come to join his forces because he's so mighty?
They do. But they are the outcasts, the rabble, the discontented.
Makes sense. That's why you cover your arms like cowards.
He does have the
They
sense
do.
to flush, right?
Okay.
But he doesn't deny it. He doesn't, and spending these nights in conversation with him, the armor that he wears is not his, and it's rusted and patched and holed, and
Holy rusted metal, Batman. All right. So, all right. So, do you want to go take this dog's head?
I think he
do.
owes us a debt of honor. He raided our homes. He killed our folk, and he took what was ours.
I mean, I cannot complain terribly that he took our village bard's tongue because he wasn't the best bard. But other than that, I agree.
I just don't know if I can pretend to join his army. That's
Maybe
a
we
tall
can.
order.
Maybe we can. We
You could
can
just go
sneak
up and
through the woodland. Maybe we don't have to talk to him.
well, we can say we've heard of his fame and have come to see for ourselves who he is and what he wants. I mean, if we present ourselves simply as warriors, then he might be curious and try to convince us to join his army. I should think.
Hey, maybe better if you did the talking. I didn't talk. That wouldn't go well.
I say we first have to survive the journey with a guy we cannot trust, and then we can decide.
That much is true, and
I
we
mean,
have to get. We
we should not
cannot
count
fight.
we should not count the kids until the goats are foaled.
Yes, and we cannot fight his entire army until we find him. So, a pretext, at least, if not outright lies. It's
Right.
true enough. We are warriors, and we wish to know who he is and what he wants. We wish to see for ourselves. That much is no lie. Agreed?
No lie. That is no lie. So I'm going to tell this fellow what's his name? Our terrified captive.
well, his real name, he's an Eric,
Okay.
but he has the mannerisms, It's the mannerisms of a beaten, subservient, good for nothing, egg sucking dog.
Eric the dog. Well, I just let this man gives dogs a bad name, but I let Eric know. I let Eric know, this is what we're planning to do. We're planning to have him guys. And like if he betrays us in any way, I won't kill him, but he'll wish I had. I'll just leave it up to his imagination. And then I just don't speak to him anymore. and then I set about preparing myself for a journey and bring more of our dried fish and goat jerky and whatever else we have with us to get ready for a trip. And it's fall, so we were going up there and probably going to end up there, late fall, early winter, that sort of thing. So, but I'm definitely going with the, if anyone's watching me, I'm going with the look of a man that's going on a one-way journey.
Mm-hmm. Now, this being Mythras, are you thinking of building a passion from this, making a pledge, promise to each other?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Come back with the Iron Arms head or none at all, or not at all. That
yeah.
work?
That works for me.
Yeah, we'll take an oath of we'll take an oath before man and gods to claim revenge. Vengeance actually is more claim vengeance for our fallen kin upon this iron arm. So oath.
All right. So
Yeah, this
we'll,
guy
we
looked
will
took literally took
establish.
everything from me, and the people, the place where I grew up, the relationships I had, my mentor, and the people he left alive are broken. No
Right.
tongues, no voices, traumatized. You know, the woman, you know, the woman that I had interest in before Brom could steal her. Brom really, before one of the other fellows could steal her. You know, he managed to break her. Like she's still alive. It'd been better if he killed her. You know, because like you can't bear to look at her now. Not that I don't care about her, but just because I feel sad. You know, it's so yes, no, I definitely that's a good passion.
Yeah. So I think we'll stand gather in the moonlight and
Yeah.
draw our swords and at least I will proclaim an oath, like Jose said, to bring back uh, the Iron Arm's head or not come back at all. So
Okay. So enter the new passion on your sheet under revenge, and
what's the starting percentage of that?
you'll
It's
find it
50.
will equal your hate passion.
58%.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. So it's 58%.
Right. So we have loyalty to the clan chief. That is your first passion. Then we have hatred of clan rivals. That will also apply to the Iron Arm. And we have, love of Danae, which is a painful passion now. And now we have revenge, the need for revenge, specifically against Carl Ironarm of the High
So
Mountain.
I think this is a good time to just procedurally, how do the passions stack? Can you invoke more than one, or you just roll one, fail it, and if the other applies, roll it and see if it works,
In
right?
in this case, where we might perceive the Iron Arm as applying to both the hatred passion and the revenge passion, we'll take the one that seems most appropriate. It's not just that some generic activity by Eric is upsetting you. You're on a quest for revenge.
Specifically, yeah. Okay.
And it's
Okay.
not about the clan rivalry at all anymore. It's personal. So
Time it's personal.
this time it's personal. Okay, if that makes sense. So no, they don't stack generally and don't need to stack.
Right. Right. Okay.
All right. Okay. So what is your plan, gentlemen? What are you going to do? Like how many days will you leave immediately with Eric?
I'd say
Well,
first flight, right? So we're ready.
I mean, Brom can take care of the other prisoners, which we are not bringing, right? Uh, are we still in the ruins? Did we? No, a couple of days passed. So did
Yeah,
we
We
you've
came
find
gone.
back.
Yeah.
refuge?
So I'll
Yeah.
reframe it for you. You are back
Yeah.
at your homestead. A neighboring
Mm.
homesteader, Ingvar, has come and found you among the few who are active, among the few who have returned from the clan steading. Brom has gone off to notify the clan chief, but of course by the time he gets there and comes back, winter may have fallen, that the clan chief may hold off until spring. There's all
Yeah. Yeah.
these considerations. You have a small window of time to undertake this heroic quest.
Right.
One of the concerns is that your parents, for want of the right word, had blades, that they had earned in their time. These were taken, and these were not recovered from the four raiders that you felled. And the amount of devastation, the number of captives that they took, clearly implies that there were more raiders, right? So these guys were bringing the slow-moving animals and captives, while the other warriors proceeded on at a faster pace. Right. The question is, how fast the pace?
So I guess the herds that we recovered, we can leave with Brahm also to take to the clan chief so that somebody will look over them. We'll take what provisions we need from our homesteads, and if we need to kill a couple of goats to get some meat or whatever, I guess we can do that. So provisions is taken care of. The people we rescued, we can leave, with Brahm to take care of all that.
When he gets back, well, yeah. I mean, they're the people that ran the village anyway. They're just without the elders, so they'll be fine. It's just kind of quiet now, and I'd rather get out of this quiet place, because every day I don't hear the laughter of children and people talking makes me sadder. That's because I see all the people milling about and doing things and stashing the runes, but they're not saying anything.
Right. And we are not tracking the band of raiders, right? We're just going straight to clan chief.
Right.
That's your choice.
Okay. Yeah, if seems fine.
Okay. So you're going for speed.
In the lead. And so I suppose we'll have our captives so he can walk hands tied before him, and because of the appellation that Freed showed for him, rope around his neck. He won't get away.
Okay.
One of us, we take turns holding it.
Excellent. How hard do you push? Right? Do you travel within your far within your limits on a day-to-day basis, or do you push hard?
Well, I'd vote for staying within our considerable limits, right? We have good endurance, so I'd vote for staying just within our limits, because we don't know the way and we have to get there in fighting trim. That would be my vote.
Sounds reasonable.
I won't argue this time. It's not quite this. It's not quite the same. Not we're not running after people that might die.
Right.
Okay.
We're running towards what might die. Yeah. Or if we're lucky.
The people that might die is us as we run toward the enemy. So,
Well, we hope some of them might die too, but we don't know.
So with that consideration, we're not going to do an endurance roll, as it would be an easy check, and that would add so much to the roll that the chance of failure is highly unlikely and easy to overcome. So keep within your limits. You move up. However, a few days into the journey, we start leaving the highlands and start getting into the mountains, and we start entering into territory that you have seen only rarely, in your time living in the highlands. You're leaving the locale that you know so well and entering into unknown territory. And one of the first challenges, the fastest way to go, according to Eric, is up a nearly steep rocky surface, which you can pull pieces of the rock away with your fingers. It has this fungal growth in it, or lichen, and the surface of the rock feels powdery. There's definitely clear places for firm hand and footholds, but the higher you go, maybe the riskier it gets. Or you can go around, and it will add an entire day.
I'd say we should approach as anyone might, right? We just want to. We've just heard about this clan chief and want to approach, or do we risk? A climb for speed?
Wait a minute. I want to see. I'm looking at him and just trying to figure out, is he trying to pull a fast one? Is he trying to be deceitful? Is this guy setting us up in some way?
Okay.
I mean, there must.
I like this instinct, and I was just about to throw something in, which is going to complicate that instinct a little bit. Remember, these are characters that are very passionate. You are very passionate. You have a fire for revenge burning in your belly. And we'll see how clear-headed you are after a check of your passion. Okay.
Everybody or just Ivan?
Everybody. As you're faced with this cliff, which you know you can climb.
A successful passion check means I'm less clear-headed, doesn't it?
Yeah. That means you are passionate.
Yes, I am passionate. I am passionate. So I've got 33, so I am quite passionate.
Right. As is Elaine.
I'm cool as a cucumber at 89.
89. All right. Now this doesn't mean that this idea can't occur to you, but you are torn, right? And getting there faster will receive the benefit of the passion. Dithering and skills related to that dithering will receive that as a penalty. So plus 11 for athletics to climb the slope, and minus 11 for figuring out if he's lying or not.
Excellent.
As your mental faculties are clouded. So let's find out how well we know.
How clear-headed.
They are clear.
Well, right now he's not clear-headed, but let's see if he can still.
All right, and so this is good insight, or what am I doing here? What's my?
Yeah.
What skill? That would be insight. Okay, minus 11. Clearly. Oh, that's actually 25. So still
25.
25. Yes, 25. Insight would have been 47. Yeah. Insight would have been 47 because yes, that's 25. Good.
He is, well, he's shifty anyway.
Right.
But there's something he's not telling you.
Right. So there's so there's definitely the grabbing of his tunic and pulling him out. See what you're up to something. What is it? I know we're close enough. I'll slaughter you like a pig here and find him myself. Not a goat, a pig.
All right. Let's try an intimidation check.
All right.
Now here you get the bonus of your passion, and you get the assistance, silent or otherwise, of Elaine, who is also passionate in the moment. And I don't know if Ingvar wants to get in on the threatening or not. It would be his intellectual his choice.
Ingvar, since he's cool as a cucumber right now, he's leaning on his staff and he's keeping watch to make sure nobody's ambushing them up from up in the cliff or approaching them. So I'll stay alert while they do the talking.
All right. So what is the not terribly impressive intimidation score of Elaine?
Yeah, I'm looking for that. Is there an intimidation skill, or what is it? What is it?
There's influence, but
right.
Hang on. Worksheet.
So we have no particular intimidation. We're going to use...
No, this guy's broken. So it doesn't have intimidation. What are you going to do? But okay, where is it?
We're going to use influence.
All right, okay, it seems reasonable. Oh, it's a stellar 24,
Right.
which would be a 35.
Right, will be a 35. Plus,
Right, because of the passion. Yeah.
Plus, you're going to add 20% of it from Elaine, just as another bonus.
Okay.
Because you're working together. So Elaine doesn't have to roll anything.
35. So it's 35, so it's an extra 7 then for me, and it's 42. Yeah, 42.
Listen, you bastard. And apparently, I'm not as intimidating as I thought. I thought that was really... It's 71, so that's a failure.
So he is a lowly dog of a man, but he has heard threats of violence from people who follow them up, and he's been hearing threats of violence from you three. And he's starting to feel less threatened.
So he's got that smug look. Yeah.
The shifty eyes, of you can see him thinking, you can hear the wheels turning. But he says, "This is the fastest way, and the way around will add at least a day."
There may be a hazard on the way up that he knows about and he's not telling us, or he might be planning to, or an area where he can hold on and push us off. He's planning something.
You think like a radar angler. You'll fit right into their clan. Or at least you might be the guy to talk to them. I don't trust it. I say we go around. This guy's still going to be there.
Agreed.
Elaine?
Yeah, the only other thing we could do is have him climb up and hang on to the leash. So if he falls, he dies. And he goes first.
Drags you with him.
Or we let go of the rope. But
he tries to bolt up there and knows how to navigate mountains better than we do, which he has to. We'll never catch him.
Much is true. All right, I'll take the safer path.
Okay.
Well, we're taking the long way around.
Well, the long way around is significantly easier, and there's access to mountain springs and some roots and even an opportunity to find some honey. So it's not all wasted, but it does start to rankle at our more passionate brothers at how long it takes and how circuitous it is. There's these huge boulders that there's no point in climbing over. They're just in the way, and you have to go around them. And the terrain itself, you have to go back down the mountain in order to go up the mountain. And about halfway into the journey, you now get a perspective looking up the mountain at why that sheer cliff face was the shortcut. All right, at how it feeds into the terrain, and you'd be way up there now had you climbed it, which rankles at you. But you could also be dead. So
it's a trade-off.
It's a trade-off.
So there's like switchbacks and stuff to get up to a very high.
Yeah.
So the question now comes, I suppose at some point we're stopped for lunch or something, and I, huddle up with Elaine and with Fritz and Ingvar, and I say, there's one thing we need to consider. What shall be the fate of our prisoner once we do reach the top? Does he betray our plans to kill this worn arm and reveal us all, or do we kill him before we get there? And if so, how?
We said he'd live so we can tie him to a tree and smear honey on him.
Are you sure you weren't a radar in another life thing fire?
No,
Twice. This makes twice that you have come up with.
I didn't suggest
Something
cutting
like
off his tongue. That's their thing. Although,
It's not a bad plan. Yeah.
Right.
No, we kill him. We kill him. And I just look at the ground. We can't leave him.
It's a high risk if he's found by his fellows.
Oh, found dead?
No, not
Oh,
found
yeah,
dead,
alive.
but
Yeah, alive.
yeah,
Really?
alive.
These bastards probably kill each other all the time. No, we kill them.
well, if it's not too far, we just push him off the cliff.
Now I take out my knife, like I do 100 times, just kind of like, sharpening a little bit and, make the motion like one would slaughter a goat and just kind of put it back in its sheath. But I really don't make I don't make eye contact. It's clear that I'm not feeling happy about that. But I, still at the same time, very determined. That's what we do.
Okay.
If you're a prisoner.
After your murderous luncheon,
Hey, what do you want?
There's a tradition in our Monday game called Murder Brunch, and I will explain it off camera later, but it's not unheard of.
so not too long after that, the terrain really starts to become noticeably steeper in all directions, and the possibility of doing switchbacks here for easier climbs later pretty much fade away, and the terrain underfoot is loose pine needles and loose soil, and there's more and more rock, and the rock itself is cold to the touch, and again this kind of gray, papery lichen is covering vast stretches of it, and when you put your hand on it, it looks like it's firm, but it slips out from underneath. And the autumn insects of the lower reaches of the highlands are gone, and more of the trees.
No, they're flying right behind you.
Yeah, this is
Seeing
memory.
them right now.
The trees are bare, and there are tracks of larger and larger predatory animals, as this is the terrain in which they can find shelter and shelter in which to hibernate for the winter. And there's large raking marks on some of the larger trees, indicating we're passing into the territory of a grizzly or a large bear of some kind. The claw marks in the tree are relatively fresh. There's still sap oozing, and the sharp smell of freshly opened bark and etched wood. But they have been traced with thin red lines of pigment.
Huh.
Is this your master's mark? I ask our prisoner.
It is what his priests do.
He has priests as well. That makes sense.
They speak the words of the god so that we may understand his message. Have you no priests in the lower lands?
I guess we do.
But
yes,
your gods are weak. There's no point in listening to their message.
He's giving a slip.
A little bit. He's getting a little...
I just very coolly turn around and backhand him. Shut up.
Yeah, it's a slight, the first time in days, maybe weeks, there's a slight grin on my face for one second. Just kind of gonna give Ingvar like an approving look, but trying to laugh. I don't have much mirth.
Are you kidding me? Shut up.
So he wipes the spot where he got slapped, and he says, "In my clan, a man who wants to hit another man doesn't do it when he's bound, and does it seriously." Now he's not doing this with courage. He's not doing this with an iron spine or something. He's motivated by something else.
Mm-hmm. Let's see that.
It's too bad this isn't your clan.
Yeah, well, you lost all claim to honor when you maimed our kin. Which way up this hill, this mountain? The walls are quite steep. I don't suppose your clan chief means to send an army down steep cliff faces. There must be a way with some switchbacks or some stairs onto these steep ledges. Show us the way.
There's many small villages.
The priests say the way will be opened.
Must be the thin air. Let's get out of here. I don't want to be this bear's lunch. Clearly, they're all insane up here. I can barely breathe here myself.
So as you keep making your way up, what you can tell from your understanding, your survival skills, your tracking skills, he's not leading you astray. You're steadily climbing higher up, and you have avoided some dangerous things. You're definitely avoiding the path of the bear.
He doesn't want to. He's definitely going to be the slowest runner. Of course, we're avoiding the path of the bear.
And he's tied up, so
he's a jerk. He's not stupid. Yeah.
Right. There's a strong sense of self-preservation and fear in Eric, but he's mumbling under his breath the whole time, as if you can't hear him, but also in that way that he hopes you will hear him, but he'll deny it if he's talking about honor. What honor is? Is there people who can't defend themselves, and the only true honor is what you earn for yourself at the point of a sword, and he's talking himself up to it. He has no sword. He has been defeated. He's exactly the person that he's railing against, but he's mad at you.
Of course he is.
People have no grasp of what they do.
And I'm starting to mention to my companions as well, like get a look around at this terrain, and get used to this, because if we live, we're going to be up here. We're not making it back anytime soon. It's just imagine it's covered with snow and ice. You think it's bad in the highlands? This is going to be impassable. We're not coming back here for months.
Yeah, we might as well make note of the way back.
Now the temperature is already noticeably cooler than it was further down the hill, and it's time to camp. There really isn't any sense in trying to climb in darkness. And while a few nights ago, when you fought the raiders at the old fort, the moon was full, several nights have passed, and while the moon still casts quite a strong light, this high up in the mountains, this time of year, it spends most of the night behind the mountain from your perspective at this elevation. So there are deep shadows and darkness with which to contend. So let's see if you can find a suitable place to camp. And
Alrighty. Woohoo.
now you can work together on this roll. So
This is a survival check.
this will be a survival check. Choose one of you to be the
Ingvar.
lead, to actually roll the dice.
All right. Thanks, guys.
The other
There you
two will add the flat 20% of skill to
Okay,
feats.
that's awesome.
Alright.
So if it's 42, we'll be adding 8 or 9. Do you round up when you
Round
do
up.
those calculations?
Always up.
So 9. So 9
9 each.
points. 9 each. So that's
Right.
18 plus 42 is 60. 60.
And I rolled
I feel
a
like
zero.
Jose. I'm doing the speed math today.
Yeah, you're
That's usually
good.
Jose.
Good. But I rolled a 08.
Oh, nice.
So you rolled a
Right.
number low enough that no math was necessary.
I wasn't gonna say anything because he did it so well.
He was on a roll. He was on a roll.
Okay. So with that level of success, the extra time that might have been added by doing it by committee, right? Well, how about here? How about here? Oh, look at that! Is voided, and a good spot is made where a lean-to can be erected. But I will also give you for that excellent roll the understanding that you are going to be cold very soon.
Funny how we have exactly the same stats, and I'm still playing the ranger.
Well, you notice that all of us were like, no, Jose rolls that. Yeah. We could have done it, but it was no, Jose rolls that.
And who rolled the 08? So
Yeah.
That's
All
there
makes
you
sense.
go. It's a
Not a crit, but very close.
Yeah, it works there. He's looking. He's like, there. See that thing? Yeah. So it's cold. Okay.
Right. And it's going to
And of
get
course-
colder. Right. So there
do we light fires? I think we
some
do.
kind of decision needs to be made, and the higher you go, the colder it will be, and your dress may not be entirely appropriate for this type of cold.
Yeah, if we can risk it, we should light a fire if we have enough materials.
And it sounds like the higher up we go, the less wood we'll have. So we should probably every morning, each of us gather some wood and carry it with us as much as we can without slowing us down. Because soon the only wood we'll find will be what we carry with us.
How long until we reach the Iron Arms hold, dog?
3 more days.
3 days.
Any
Far
points,
journey.
between, because the peak is going to split when we round the shoulder of the mountain. We must pass through it and up the next. If you maintain this pace, 3 days. If you show your weak lowland belly, longer. And then he flinches after the insult.
Yeah, after the
That's it. 3 days. 3 days is too long. Let's move.
yeah.
So walk faster.
So
I say we
we'll
press
build
for a day.
Oh yeah.
That's what I say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll build fires during the night, carry the sticks during the day, and try to move faster. Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay. So as you are willing to have heat, and therefore light, at night, when you wake in the morning, you're rested, and I'm not going to penalize your endurance check. And if you're just pushing it a little bit, we'll make a straight endurance check. If you really want to make up some time, then we'll take a third off.
Just a little bit.
Risky.
It's the mountains are crying out loud. That's
Just
just,
a little bit.
Well, we are driven by our passions.
Driven by your passions.
All right, let's go for broke.
Yeah, so
That's all right.
Let's see
Third
if you're
off.
driven by your
So-
passions as you wake up in the cold of the morning, high in the mountains.
Yeah.
So passion
let's roll
check first.
passions first. Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah. Fires aren't burning so hot anymore. No, wait, that was an 8.
What is it?
That was an 8.
What's the passion roll? Because that's one of the things that gets cut off this sheet when I put it onto the.
It's 58.
50.
Or
Oh, good.
54 or 58. Yeah. It's close enough. If you roll 50 something, we'll look, but it's 54 or 58.
56.
Oh,
56. You
well,
made
then
it.
we have to look. It's
It's
58.
50.
Yeah,
It's
for
58,
the hate.
I'm
Yeah.
a passionate son of a. All right, now let's go. Let's go. Come on.
Yeah.
And that's
The cold
screwing
is
around.
getting to Elaine,
And the-
so he's
And
like,
the more this guy talks, the more the more I hate him, and the more I hate his chief.
All right.
Seems
So
like his words affected Ingvar because I rolled a 26.
All right. So
Yeah.
2 of the 3 want to go harder, faster, more.
That's right. That's
Elaine,
right.
are you going to try and talk them out of it?
I'll grumble as usual. So, because this happened the last time as well, and
did.
Elaine
It did.
grumbled also. So
That's
he's
right, he
developing
did.
quite a personality for a complainer here. But
Yeah.
See,
he grumbled the last time, so maybe he's just mumbling to himself, kind of like the prisoner. But he's not going to speak out loud. He's like, oh god damn it.
All right. Okay, so
Yeah.
we reduce, because it's a hard check. So we reduce your 75 and then add the passion on top. Those of you who get to benefit from the passion.
And the passion bonus is 11?
11.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I bet you it's 61.
24.
Right. The Zuccotti dice here, which had betrayed me with an 85.
I don't have my
Damn.
dice, but I have this magnificent app that you guys suggested.
That is a
Damn you,
magnificent
Hal
app.
Zuccotti. Damn you. 85.
And
Yeah.
900.
Zuccotti has betrayed me as well.
Thanks, Hal Zuccotti. But they're great dice. All right. So,
All right. So this means that fatigue is accrued. All right. You push on, and it has its effect.
Elaine, you get to grumble some more.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Okay. And it forces this decision upon you to take regular rest breaks and not gain the benefit of time, but not suffer the fatigue at the end of the day, or to push on and arrive wearied.
Come on, you guys can't show weakness in front of this dog. This vile rabbit humper.
keep walking. Keep walking. I'm not. We're listening to Elaine complain because it doesn't matter. I'm slipping. I'm stumbling. I'm skinning myself, and but I'm still pushing on because now I'm pissed off. And now when Ingvar says that, forget it. Any moment of thinking maybe we should slow down is done. Because all I can hear is Eric's voice coming through Ingvar's mouth. I'm just like, all right, keep walking.
Nice.
So yeah,
Of course, it's easy for Ingvar to say, but
And I
hey,
don't-
because Ingvar's
and
fine.
there's that buzzing behind me, which has the timbre of Elaine's voice. But I'm not. I'm just kind of ignoring. As he stumbles occasionally.
All right.
It's ridiculous. I can't believe this. You have weeks to get there.
He should rest.
So,
Let's hope we don't find any bears or wolves or anything up in these mountains.
so at the end of the day, you would be wearied, as I said, and needing to stop. And the skill grade has become formidable for any check.
Oh, jeez.
Movement
And formidable.
It's
Remind
really
me.
bad.
Remind me
Yeah,
of
that stuff. 1, 2. Third level of exhaustion is formidable. Is half the skill. Half the skill.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
So
Which is
initiative is
Ingvar.
affected. Action points are not affected, but the recovery period is 6 hours, right? You know that you need
Yeah.
sleep. You can feel it, and the cold, and the eating of the dried fish, and everything. It's miserable, and it's time to stop.
Yeah. And as a guy that's almost 53, I know exactly what that feels like. Those moments where you're like, oh God.
After an average day of work.
Yeah. That's how I felt yesterday. Actually, the day before yesterday. So you like, oh God. You come home and you're like, I gotta go sleep now. Okay, so yeah, this has become far less academic than it was when I was in my 20s. Oh, okay.
That's why they call it a fantasy game. These levels of fatigue are unrealistic. Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. So
for a 20-year-old, they're very unrealistic. But for a teen,
so I am really, and I'm really trying not to let anybody see just how beat I am. But it's something you can just see it in my eyes. You can see it in even though I'm 30.
So,
it's like
the Ingvar will take care of lighting the fire and all that stuff. So let them rest.
But we made progress, right? So now we're how far away? About a day.
You've pushed really hard, yes, and you made it through the gap that he talked about, and you're most of the way up the next spire. And if you can push that hard again tomorrow, you can be there. Now, Eric is in similar condition. He's not as wiped as the rest of you, but being bound and being under stress the entire time has definitely affected him.
Mm-hmm. Find him a little more firmly this evening, because I know, like, should he wake up and try anything, there's no way I'm going to be able to help. So, yeah.
Yeah, but there's no mystery to your fatigue. You know exactly why.
Right.
You know that your feet are sore, your knees are sore, you've fallen, you've been scraped, you've been beaten up, you haven't eaten enough, it's too cold. Right? You know why, and you know how you're affected. And it is colder. As the sun sets, your breath frosts, and on the stream nearby, there's a thin layer of frost, and very thin, flexible layer of ice in the still section, in the corners of the edge of the stream.
Guys, in this terrain, probably it's harder to see a fire smoke from a distance. But maybe tomorrow, as we walk, we should be on the watch out for animal droppings and use those to start next night fire. We'll be too close, and that way it'll be less smoke. Although the aroma will be fantastic.
Oh, you'll see him before I do, Eagle Eyes. So whatever you think is best. So we keep pressing on. Keep pressing on.
All right.
So
we need to make tonight's survival check for your campsite while affected by fatigue.
Oh no, that's Ingvar.
It's me. It's me. All right.
But I guess he gets much less assistance from us, right? Because he would get 20% of our.
Ingvar's fresh.
So 21.
So half.
All right, yeah.
Still good.
Can't see
it. Good.
Yeah, I can't. You're not going to be able to see it. I'm trying. Yeah, you see
there's a one. There you go.
You did it.
Once again, Jose plays a ranger. That's great.
Yes.
All right, so he's able to find you a spot where you can rest and eat and drink and be relatively warm. All right. And if you're willing to sleep for 6 to 8 hours,
Oh, I'm willing.
Should.
I'm
We
willing.
can see that. We can see that. That's
I'm willing.
excellent
I
role
think
playing,
we
my
should.
friend.
Thank you.
Well, this is where, right, in the quiet stillness of Eric's sullen complaining, the bubbling fires of rage and revenge interfere or not? Let's see.
So do we roll passion again, or?
Yes, and for poor Fritz, this is going to be compounded, as his passion is going to be augmented by his love.
So we roll passion normally,
You roll
except for
passion
him.
normally. Fritz rolls passion plus 11.
11. Oh, great. That's great. That's a whopping 69.
4%.
Oh, a crit.
Well,
Oh.
this is under our passion, so I don't know.
Yep, 50 is under.
Sounds
Thank
like
you.
the closer I get, the less self-possessed I'm becoming.
That's
Hey, it was
right.
90. Apparently my passion failed me.
It's cooling.
I was
Too
my
tired.
passion because I'm so tired. Yeah, and trust me, this happens, kids. I don't know if you you wait till you get older. Forget it. Never mind. what was that? I was so upset about. Yeah.
What was I so upset about? Okay.
So fatigue wins.
So,
What I was so upset about? I don't even remember what I was so mad about.
Yeah. So
Except-
we have pretty much
except
You
Ingvar
probably-
has just critically become passionate during the night.
Because we're so close, I can taste the revenge.
Yeah.
Right, and
That's
these
it.
two,
You two sluggards.
No, if we're rolling regular passion, that succeeds, right?
Yeah, he succeeded.
yeah. Oh, right,
Yeah.
Elaine is
Yeah.
smoldering too,
the
but
fires
he's so
are getting
tired.
stoked again. Yeah,
And
it's just
Fritz is so.
You guys were right yesterday. You guys were right.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking.
I'm shaking the campsite. with the
Well,
snores. Man.
Elaine is reinvigorated because the previous day his passion was off and he was complaining all the way here, but now he's like, okay, we're almost there. Let's go do this. So yeah.
Okay. So then in the morning, Ingvar has moved into the fatigued range. He's winded, right? Didn't get a great sleep. And the others have climbed, or sorry, Fritz slept the sleep of the innocent somehow, and he's back to fresh. And
But I'm screwed. Yeah.
Elaine is tired.
Okay.
Elaine is tired. So everything's at hard for Elaine.
All right, let's go. Come on, fellas.
Okay. And Eric is dragging his feet. You're close, right? He's worried. He's constantly looking. He's visibly planning his escape. Right? He's
And we have to
testing
get rid
his
of him
bonds
soon.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Which makes me upset and sad all at once.
You're gonna miss him?
No, not exactly. Not exactly that. But I definitely just kicking everybody awake and let's get going, and I'm ready to push on. One more day. You said we make it there in one more day. If we press on, let's go. Come on, big man.
Right.
This is show us how your clan does it up here. You're real men. Come on, real men. Let's go.
okay.
Elaine. Come on.
Yeah, I'm coming. I'm coming.
Now the check is at hard. I'm not going to make it harder for Elaine because it's not formidable, even though he's already tired. But it's hard for everybody simply because it's hard for everybody.
And does the passion help?
It certainly can. And we'll just let it ride. Those who are passionate now are passionate and those who were asleep are.
Yeah, not as
16.
passionate. I'm just kind of, it's just a principle of the thing at this point, you know. It's a principle.
Elaine
here we
Ingvar
go.
can add it and not freeze.
Oof. Oof. I had a 61%, so it's
Yeah.
just under the wire.
I rolled a 53.
Thanks to the passion.
Yeah.
Thanks to the passion, because
Same
otherwise,
here. It's our will to kill that sustained us rather than our endurance.
No. Well, once again, you know. Yeah, Fritz is all talk at 53. I think we were going hard, so there was 50. Not fueled by passion, so it's definitely beating me up.
You're getting too old for this, man.
Okay.
Perhaps Fritz is 31.
Moving you back down to winded.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's one challenge left. It's obvious hours before you get there as you're maintaining this pace and everyone's breathing hard and it's difficult to concentrate, but you've kind of reached that zone, that second wind kind of zone where as long as you keep moving, everything will be fine. It's if you stop that's when the pain's going to start kind of feeling. And the
it's
terrain,
like the average 4 p.m. in my office.
as long as I keep going.
No, that's a definite phenomenon when you're hiking too. Just don't stop.
Like the ground is very uneven. Those huge boulders from before are even larger, and they're surrounded by smaller boulders. And now you sometimes have to climb them because there's no other way. Right? And it's cresting one of those boulders that on the other side you see the ruins of a large stone statue of a bear. It's been toppled off of its large rectangular ornate base. The base is a variety of bears in different life stages, cubs and mother bears and huge grizzly bears. It's almost like it doesn't look like a story, but it looks like every aspect of the life of the bear is represented somewhere on the base of the statue. But it's been broken off at the ankles, of this huge grizzly kind of clawing at the sky, and it's lying shattered behind the base. The head is rolling away, and one of the arms is broken off, and carved from the local granite of the mountain and polished, to an ice-like smoothness, and the crystals inside the granite are glinting in the sunlight.
Who would have broken this?
Is this your Iron Arms doing?
No. It is because of this that we go to war.
Ah. Is this broken when the mountain shook?
No. Now he's totally confused. Like, you've implanted a thought in an otherwise barren field.
Is this was Iron Arms clan originally the clan of the bear? What is this statue?
We are the people of the bear. We are the people of the mountain. We are the people of the thunder in the sky. And he's trying to remember what else he's the people of. It's obvious. It's written on his face. There's one more thing.
So, who broke the statue? Do you even know? Is it a sign from your gods? What do the priests say?
The priests say we need to avenge ourselves on the lowlanders. We need to take the soft lands from the weak and rule them from the high mountain. So strength returns to the land instead of being bled out by the lowlanders.
It would seem your bear gods dispute that claim. and like broken in shame at your actions. I will tear thee. Yeah.
You may have pushed Eric too far. I'm gonna check his
Yeah,
cash.
come on.
Yeah, his blood is up. He's like, untie me, you. He doesn't even have words, right? He's lost his capacity for speech. He's just thrashing at the end of the rope. He's like, untie me.
I'm looking like this. Let me tell you something, Eric. Let me explain something to you. I don't know much about gods.
Charges.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Charges.
Yes,
Hands
okay.
tied,
awesome.
head down. He charges. Initiative,
But,
please.
yeah.
Who is he charging? Is anybody?
He's charging
Me,
you.
I guess.
Yeah, Elaine. He's charging Elaine.
Elaine.
Of course he is. Of course he is.
So you roll a d10 and add it to your...
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Initiative. Is the initiative remain unchanged, or does it change?
Unless
because
something
of the-
happens of import.
Oh, no, that's right. It doesn't. Yeah, it's not enough fatigue to change the initiative. So 17.
Yep. Oh, I see what you meant. Yeah, you're at no penalty. You're tired.
Yeah.
And
For a moment there, I thought like, what if it's hard? The skill is less, but that's not how that works.
Right. Yeah, you have to be wearied to get a penalty.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
So he has a 14 for his initiative. So he's telegraphing as he runs in. He's lowered his head. He's going for a slam. He's going to drive his shoulder up into your
Ramming
diaphragm. He's just barreling for it.
Yeah. And I am at hard. So I will attempt to shove him down, right, to like unarmed, right? So it's like I'm gonna try and shove him.
Right. Which is your...
So I'll roll my unarmed, right?
Yep.
Brawn. No, it's not brawn. It's
It's unarmed. It's at the bottom of
unarmed.
the skill list.
43. 43.
Is that a separate skill? Oh,
43, yeah. Pero ¿qué te
Okay,
pasa?
so that's not good because it's not 43. It is
right,
actually
it's
20
less.
something. It's hard, so it's 29. Jeez. Here we go. Any passions that apply here?
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. Well, I certainly hate this clan and despise it, right? So it's like I'm totally disrespectful of their stupid ideas. So it might. If it's 11 more, that would be 40% flat. So here we go.
Let's let the dice decide.
And that's a 68, so it doesn't really matter because I miss.
Not enough respect for him to get angry, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
So that was the passion, wasn't it?
Yeah, were you rolling the passion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was 58, so it doesn't. So now I rolled the regular thing, which is 29.
29.
Oh, 22.
22. Okay.
Nice. There we go.
All right. And I need a D20 to go along with that and a D4.
12 and 2.
All right. So if you look on your character sheet, you can see the hit locations.
So it's chest. And it's 2 damage to the chest.
So that neatly coincides, I think,
maybe
with your idea you wanted to just to throw him down.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's a hardy mountain man, and I'm going to try and resist. So I'm going to spend an action point. Oh, and I get a 10. Lucky
Oh,
me.
so he does.
Yeah. So
All right.
the
So
two
how
of them
does
are.
this work? Because it's the same size weapon, so it blocks basically.
Yep.
Same size weapon, quote unquote, right?
Yeah,
It's just-
blocks all damage. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so we've got an impact from Elaine was headed for his chest, his torso, right? And he slams in and meets it. So these two are locked together, right? Gripping each other's clothing and the uneven terrain. And Eric's trying to get the upper ground. He's trying to pivot so he has the higher ground, and that's currently where we are. Is anyone else going to interfere?
Yeah, let's try to grapple him, right? Get him off. Pero
Yeah.
¿qué te pasa?
Yeah, let's grapple him. I'm just looking at. I was just about to say so. Let me explain something. I'm just stopping with disbelief. You got to be kidding me. Initiative? I mean,
Yes, you should add in your initiative. Yes.
which is it affected by being winded at this point or no?
No.
No. Okay. Cool.
No. But all your skills are at hard.
Yeah. So, and our initiative bonus is a
15.
50. Yeah, because of the armor. Okay. So it's 16 total.
Way to
I
roll
rolled
a
a
one.
20
I rolled
total.
a one. No, hey, listen.
I got a 5, so it's a 20.
All right. So Ingvar can interfere with this one-on-one fight first.
All right, so I'm going to try and grab him. So it's an unarmed check, right?
Yep.
At hard.
Yep.
All right, let's see what happens. No, 82.
Okay. So it doesn't mean you can't grab them, right? But
Right.
there is no effective purchase, no leverage gained.
Right.
All right, so we have
I can't get him off of Elaine.
right. So Elaine and Eric are like sideways on the hill. Neither one has the upper hand. Another one has the upper ground. And it's significant, right? It's a steep and rocky slope. The person who goes down is definitely going to feel it when they go down. And then Freets, there's not a lot of room left to get in for grappling, but there's certainly room to do harm.
Right.
There's always room to do harm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like doing. Yeah, I'm going for like rock to the head. It's picking up the nearest and just like popping with it. So
That's harm.
yeah, that's how. Yeah, that's. I'm just picking up the nice fist size rock. And like I've had enough of this crap.
All right.
Very caveman, I approve.
So yeah. So what combat skill?
You'll
combat
roll,
style are we gonna call this?
You roll your combat style. This is basically an improvised weapon that's
okay.
not terribly similar to anything that you have been trained in.
Right.
You're already at hard because you're so tired, so I'm not going to increase that. I'm not going to stack those difficulties. So just give me a check at hard with your combat style with the rock.
Okay, so that's card is like 48%, I think.
Yeah.
And that's a 42. All right, and hold on, let me roll our D20. Trying to go over the head, but 18, and then rock. What do we call it? D4. You said
Yeah.
rock was
D4.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. So my heat location would be 18, and damage is 2.
I'm going to. I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to use. Wow. Okay.
Location left arm.
I critically defended.
Oh, okay.
So
That's not good.
well, it's good for.
Sorry,
Eric.
Elaine. Yeah. This is where I bash Elaine's brains in with a rock by accident. See what you made me do, Eric?
our secondary combat skill is 55, but it doesn't say unarmed weapons, right? So
Yeah, neither. Yeah, so we just have the
okay,
unarmed
so
skill.
neither style has it. Okay.
All right. Here's what I'm looking for. I want. I'm gonna go simple. No, not that. Interesting.
Oh, there it is. Unarmed. I couldn't find it. Now I found it. 43. Yeah.
Okay. Eric manages to slip the rock. It doesn't hit him. It instead grazes Elaine's head.
I'm sorry.
Right? Now it
This is such
doesn't.
an Ivan thing to do.
It doesn't inflict damage on Elaine. However, it does cause blood to flow,
Oh no.
running in his eyes, as I've chosen blind opponent as.
Oh my God.
So it definitely
effect.
hits the head. It definitely hurts. It doesn't take away hit points, but it does remove sight for the moment.
Jeez.
Just trying to help, dude. See what you made me do, Eric. See what you made me do.
So how many turns am I going to be blinded? It's
Hang
1d3.
Yeah, let's roll it. I will roll it. 1. It's just a thin.
So one
trickle.
turn. Okay. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a turn, meaning everybody goes around, or just my next action.
It's one turn. Yeah. So
Action,
not one
basically.
round. Yeah. So,
Okay. So my next.
all right. So enough time to do this. Right. So.
Yeah. So
All
it's
right.
his go, right?
It would be if he hadn't exhausted all of his action points on
Oh.
not getting. So we're back at the top
thing.
of the order. So we're back
So
to
it would be
Ingvar,
me.
actually,
Yeah.
because Ingvar had the
Ingvar.
20.
This is out of hand. I'm gonna whack him with my staff.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Don't
this
miss.
is out of hand. This is out of hand.
How bad can it be?
It can be pretty bad. I mean, come on.
How many teeth does Elaine really need? That's
So that's let's see. 73, 70, entre 3. So that's 3 times 2. Entre 3. So that's a 49. So we've got to roll against 49. And survey says, and I might as well roll the location and the damage,
too,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Let's
And the
just
damage,
do that
yeah.
because that's a sexy roll. All right. Okay, I rolled an 18 to hit.
Okay.
He's out of AP, so he doesn't parry.
He just takes it. Yeah.
So I whacked him for 8 points in location 20, so in the head.
Which is the head, and you get a free effect because he doesn't parry.
Yeah.
So you can knock him out, or
So let's see. Stun location is what I'd go for.
Yeah.
and that's knocking him out. Yeah.
All right. So down he goes.
I just wrap him. Enough of this.
So there's the three of you, the unconscious Eric, a bloody rock,
That's it.
just a scrape across, an unfortunate scrape across the head. Right, reminding us of the dangers of close melee combat.
Help Elaine up. So you all right? No real.
Yeah,
mention
Elaine
of
is
actually
cursing and grabbing his. It's like, oh, should kill him now.
Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I'm going. Like, yeah, no, I am. Unless I'm pulling my knife out, ready to slit his throat. Like I've had enough of
Yeah,
this.
so I completely, don't mind if they kill him. I just tell Ellen, I'm looking at the statue. Said, I know what you were going for, but this bear looks like a mighty beast. It didn't deserve this fate. I'm more worried about the bear
That
than
much
about
is
Eric.
true. Much is true, but if
It's just
so
philosophy.
Elaine's cursing. Yeah, Elaine's cursing, and it just. Do you kill him, Ivan?
Yeah, no, I kind of pull like his tunic or whatever, like up over his face. I don't want to look at him, and I just slit his throat like I would a go. And it's not. There's no joy in it. I mean, you could tell. You could tell like when Freed stands up, like it was uncomfortable. Like it's not something he wanted to do. But so he doesn't and just doesn't really say anything.
So after he kills him, I go and cut his ropes. And I'll tell them if he's found, he won't be found bound. He hit us, we killed him. That's all they need to know. He attacked us, we killed him. Yeah. If he is found.
All right. So with Freets, I get the impression kind of looking down, feeling shame and fear, and Elaine now busy with the body. I'm going to ask Ingvar for a perception check.
At hard, right?
Yes, please.
All right, so I'll just roll it, and then I'll look at my sheet. It's easier.
Perception.
We have pretty good perception, and I rolled a 28, so it makes it. Yeah, we have 73 perception.
Ranger. Sorry.
All right. Up the slope, on top of a rock, wearing clothing that nicely blends in with the gray of the granite, is someone who is making this motion. It was the motion that caught your eye. An archer.
Archer, take cover.
That's what I do. Behind the statue or parts of the statue.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
All right. Now you guys need
down
to
among the rocks. Yeah.
try and go for cover. How horrifying is that against an archer?
Is it a dodge or? Yeah.
So you have the evade skill, and if you are pretty good with it, it may indicate that you have found cover.
So it's,
and we're rolling at hard, so we're rolling at 30% rather than 45.
yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I like to invoke I like being alive passion.
Love of life.
And I roll a 59. This is what you do. Just say
Crit.
Critical
crit. Succeed.
Nice.
I don't know what that means, but hey.
Hey, it's good. I rolled a 22, so I lucked out also.
Very nice.
So yeah, clearly, just Archer, and I'm just so lost in my guilt and shame and everything else that I look up a little bit too late.
And flip him on
as these other guys are running like professionals. So clearly have run from the adults, early on in life, Not so much.
Yeah,
not
it's
so
a
much
crit. So as I dive, it's like
you do a Neo style,
Yeah,
done that before.
Flip.
Right. Now,
So, Archer? What?
yes,
Archer?
an archer.
Yeah, that's how I look up.
Archer.
Yeah, Archer, where?
Yeah, I'm just like, huh? What? Oh.
Boba Fett,
Oh.
where?
Oh dear. Yeah. Oh dear.
Where exactly?
Now, I was aiming at Elaine.
Oh,
Of course, because I was over the body.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
And I scored enough to hit despite the range and despite the wind. And I would have hit him in the right leg for
But I critted.
4 damage. But,
But I critted.
yeah.
good man, good man.
Right. So, yeah.
Archer.
Not bad.
Oh, Archer.
Okay. And then they slip behind the back of the rock.
And now, after I stand there like a statue, I also join my friends.
So you've clustered around the fragments of the bear statue, which now that you're up close to it, right, the leg of the bear, like the thigh of the bear, shaggy and carved, is almost as tall as you. It's just lying there on the ground. That's how big this statue really is, right? Its dimensions. And somewhere within 50, 60 meters is an archer.
We need to circle around. I whisper to the other guys. You go one, you go left, I go right. So I'll try and make my way from rock to rock to get near to this guy. See if we can sneak around, sort of like move over towards his position. If they're assuming there's, enough rocks and stuff to hide behind. If it's open ground, we're screwed. But at least that's a different thing, right? So which is it? Do we have... Are there rocks for us to move around, to sneak from rock to rock?
Yeah, absolutely. If
Or to attempt it...
the issue, really is that in ranged attacks, generally speaking, the terrain and the distance and other factors are going to determine whether or not they hit. And if they can overcome those possibilities, then they hit.
Yeah.
So shields and passive warding and your armor become the thing that save your life. I mean, it's that kind of bowel weakening fear that, any minute your body could be punctured by a high velocity projectile. So what I would like to do is have you use your athletics.
Okay.
All right. And this is going to help me determine the difficulty for the archer to end your life.
So I have a 58 baseline. Where did I put I have a thing. So let's do 58 here. Hang on a second. So it should be 39, 39% to skill, which is not so good.
Now, what we're checking is your ability to close on where you believe the archer to be while being behind some cover. So failing will mean not being behind cover.
So,
is Elaine the only one
Can
trying to close on this fellow, or no?
I thought everyone was.
Can I?
Yeah, we all are.
Yeah, can I invoke my passion? Because the plan hinges on this. If this guy is from which he probably is, from the Bear Clan, Iron Arms Clan, and he saw us kill Eric. So the plan can crumble on his testimony. So we need to kill him. Otherwise, we're never getting to to the chief. So can I roll the passion first
I'm convinced. It
to see if
sounds
that
like you're
applies?
passionate.
So,
Yeah.
so do I just apply the modifier? Okay, so the modifier for the passion is 12 plus 39 is usually 51. 51. So that's my skill. 51. Here we go. Service says no. Ow.
91.
All right. Hey.
That's significantly
Yes.
different than 51. Okay, so Elaine,
Yes, it is.
for all of his running and for all of his anger, or maybe because of his anger, presents.
Well, he's winded, so he doesn't quite get there. You know, if he hadn't been, if we had rested, like I said, but no.
Who are you? Who are you angry at anyway? Yeah.
He doesn't generate quite enough
Everybody.
Blood in his eyes. Yeah.
Right. So he presents a valid target. How about Ingvar?
All right, so we can use so we're doing again athletics.
Yes, it's
at
an athletics
hard,
check. At hard.
and modified by
the passion, if it had existed for this day, which it did for you and Elaine, but not Fritz.
All right. So that's
51.
yeah, 58.
Oh no! Wait, are you tired? Are
yeah,
you tired, or are you fresh?
Yeah,
oh, okay. So
No,
it's
I'm tired.
hard, right? Yeah. So it's 51 total.
39 plus 11, 50.
50. It should be 12 because the passion rounds up. It
Oh,
should
okay.
round up as 58. Yeah. Right?
So
Am
I
doing that
roll a 50 on the dot.
All right. So Ingvar does not present a target while closing on the suspected location. And Fritz...
39. 39. Oh,
39. Yeah.
39.
Okay. And Fritz presents a wonderful target with a 57.
All right. So now I get to
No, it's not a
choose
bad roll.
between you. And I will
Two
use the
wonderful
time-honored
options.
tradition of choosing a D12, this glittering little devil. And because Fritz is feeling so low, he is low. And I rolled low.
Uh-oh.
So I'm shooting at my
Low.
new target of opportunity.
Hey, I did kill his buddy. Okay. Clearly running tired.
Well, the arrow, for thus it is, sinks into the ground at Fritz's left foot, just missing.
Excellent.
And Ingvar is close enough to engage.
All right.
Nice.
So, talking again, it's try and get in there and whack him with a stick.
So it's hard. So it's 49 baseline. And your passion applies. So we said it's 12. So 61?
Yeah.
61%.
And location and D8. So I rolled a 15% to hit. Location 11. So that's the chest for 5 damage.
It's a good place.
Unless he
that's
parries.
nice.
All right. So he's going to attempt to defend, right? And he has a look of surprise on his face. He was tracking Elaine as he ran. He was tracking Fritz as he ran. But, maybe he assumed that Ingvar had stayed, crouched behind the bear like a cowardly lowlander. But he's surprised. Suddenly, Ingvar's there. And so it's kind of a hasty attempt to defend himself and does so.
All right, so he parries. All right.
Right. Forced to use the bow to block it away, and he staggers under the hit of the quarterstaff.
We're correct. Yeah.
And this brings us to Elaine, who can now reach the area.
Excellent. So I guess I'm going to try to do the same, but stab him with a sword. So here we go. Sword is D8, I believe. Yes. Location die. Okay, here we go. And I have a 61 as well. So I do hit with a 44. Location 14, which should be the right arm.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 points of damage.
Ah, okay. The
Is the arm covered? Is this guy honorable, or is like the other ones who?
This guy is wearing, I should have told you earlier, is wearing furs. 2 layers of
Okay.
furs.
Oh, so it's everywhere, yeah.
Yep.
I guess it doesn't count for the...
And he attempts to defend himself, but is unable, and the blade will bite in. So you have 1 special effect.
Mm-hmm. So let's take a look at my choices. There's always, of course, bleeding him, but...
There's not amputate these fingers as a special effect. Well, you know, archers. What are you gonna do?
And he's wearing furs everywhere, so it
Yeah,
doesn't
so-
really matter if I change location. I'll press the advantage is what I'll do.
Okay.
So he can't attack
Right.
in the next round. Yeah.
Right. So
He can
yeah,
still
there's-
defend, but not attack.
So clearly you've bitten into the flesh under the furs, but not like you would have hoped.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this brings us to Fritz.
All right.
Now, Fritz, being the 3rd into this particular melee, is at risk of hitting someone else who's involved in the melee that he doesn't want to hit, which is a very familiar scene from moments ago.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh man, that makes it tougher.
Yeah.
But I'm pissed because this guy just tried to almost hit me with that. So no, I'm going for broke. I'm gonna attack this guy. The sword comes out, and I'm trying to kill this guy. And let's see. Well, okay, good. 16 for a roll.
Nice.
And 16 for location as well for 5 points, and that is the left arm
Coming in from the other side.
coming in from the other side.
The dice always know.
That's right. Coming from the other side, left arm, 5 points, definitely hits. It's a
All right.
16.
I have no way to defend myself, right? And again, this bites in, and despite the tough mountain exterior, he lets out a yell of pain, right? And
I bet that hurt.
staggers into Ingvar.
My turn?
Yep.
All right. Love the sound effects on this. All right. 38 to hit. Location 13 for 4 points. So that's the
Right
right
arm again. Yeah.
All right.
for 4 points.
Okay. Oh, such bad luck. Okay, so trying to raise the bow up, gets caught right on the arm, and you get a special effect.
All right. So let's go ahead and let's see. Compel surrender. Can I do it? Or?
Yeah, but that's another prisoner. Do we want another prisoner?
We don't have to
No,
kill
but
him alive.
In this situation with 3 opponents bleeding, two of them are trying to hack at him with swords and no way to use his weapon because of the close proximity. Yeah, a compel surrender is a good direction to go in.
Excellent. You know that whatever happens, that both Fritz's dead friend and this guy are going to be stripped of their furs because we need to.
Yeah.
We're going to need some more clothing, but we'll get into surrender for now. All right. So,
Well, we got to think about this because, well, I can't say anything in front of the prisoner, so I won't.
All right. So I need to know how you compel the surrender.
I'm thinking, I whack them in the right arm, and maybe that caused them to fall, and basically raise the staff and say, "Stop fighting, or I'll brain you right now, you mouse humper."
And of course, from his position on the ground, he can see Eric's corpse.
Right.
With his shirt pulled over his head.
He knows we don't treat prisoners very kindly. Yeah, it's not our thing.
He just says, "A man should die on his feet, not like this, not like that."
Right.
Are you one of Iron Arm's men?
I serve Iron Arm.
Well, we come to meet the man. So I lower my weapon and I sheath it. I guess it on my back because come seeing them. We come to see the man. We've heard word and legends of gods and mountains shaking. The Skur, and I point over to, with my head. The Skur said he'd take us there after we caught him stealing from us. As you can see, he attacked us. We'd had quite enough of his mouthing off and leading us astray. So we killed him.
I was listening. You insulted the bear.
Oh.
Well, isn't it? Does it not make sense to you? Why is your bear broken? Who broke it then?
You can ask your questions to the priests. If you're as brave as you pretend, but fighting one as three will not earn you Iron Arm's favor. But the light in his eyes is out.
Yeah.
When he was one against three, he was all full of passion and fire, but now he's trying to figure out how not to die here.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got a point, but he's not working toward his own survival either. That's all I'm saying.
The priests have come to visit Iron Arm today.
All right, and the guy's armed with a bow. Anything else he's got?
He has the ubiquitous knife.
Okay.
But he's carrying several empty sacks, so and twine and snares. So likely not out here as a sentry, but as a hunter.
Yeah.
Tell us exactly how to get there, or you take us, or end up like your this one.
The bear guards the gate. Stand with your back to the bear's back and march forward. Climb the mountain, and at its summit, you will find home.
I look in a direction, look back at him for like confirmation that I'm kind of looking in the right direction.
The mountain, right, against kind of a gray, slate-colored sky, and the temperature is bitter already. You know, if you were back at the steading, it would be so much warmer than this, and the air is dry and kind of the grass is crunching underfoot. And standing with the ruins of the bear behind you, the mountain has a flat top, more or less, rounded around the edge. And if you take a look at the email I sent you marked for later, you'll have a sense of what might be waiting inside for you should we have the opportunity to play again.
Oh, there we go.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
But
So
at that moment,
Void.
with Fritz standing with his back to the ruins of the bear near the tumbled, glittering head, the mountain, as Eric told you so many days before, rumbles as though speaking in the voice of the god. Right? And the sky turns black.
The whole sky?
The whole sky. But what happens after that is for another day.
Nice.
we are so screwed. And the funny thing is, I guess you'll find out next week when I'm gone. So
It's terrible.
so I don't have to. I'm not
And Elaine runs like
further
a frightened
input
rabbit.
Oh man.
Oh,
You
that's
have a
fun.
couple of days to figure out how to
to
transpose
proceed.
Craig and
Yeah, it's
whether he brings Brahm in against orders or whether he takes on Elaine. Or something.
The thing is, he's not used to Elaine's stats, right? So that's the difficult part.
He's totally alien character. Yeah. Right. Another option we would have is to give him this defeated archer. That might be entertaining too.
Nice.
Anyway,
Awesome.
got a couple minutes. Are you awake enough to talk about Mythras?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely fun again. Combat is always interesting.
It's very vivid. It's what I've said before. You remember every sword stroke because it's so detailed.
Yeah, it's granular, right? It's a
Right.
granularity. The granularity dial is set to max in
Right.
RuneQuest. That's always how it's been, right?
The passions are neat kind of wild cards, when you're trying to figure out, okay, was this guy lying to me or not, and then realizing that can influence you in that way is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So it kind of brings in your mental status. So yeah, having like little barometers of your mental and physical status is kind of cool. It's disheartening sometimes. Like, oh crap, I'm not as good as I normally would be. But it is a realism meter is not the right word, but it does kind of bring in an extra layer or makes it a little more human.
Yeah, the levels of fatigue are grueling, right? It's a huge hit to your scores, right? So you go to 2/3 of your actual score. So that's even incurring 2 levels, because the first level is just like warning, you're starting to go into dangerous territory, right? But even the second one, it's already your skills are up to hard. So it's palpable.
And in terms of the combat, I was already pretty familiar with RuneQuest combat, so I already knew that you roll everything at once, and you're just adding a parry roll. And I like parry rolls in general. It's one of the things that and because we played the other game, I was already familiar with the effects I like to use. So I mean, the combat was fast. I mean, really, this time around.
Yeah, not weeks at a time like an email.
Yeah.
No, no,
And that's
but there wasn't a lot of analysis, right? We were choosing our
Yeah.
essays, and we were moving fast, real time. It didn't take significantly longer than D&D combat, which is
and that's what
the measuring
saves
stick.
and that what saves the combat, right? Because if you go into analysis paralysis after every hit, then it's going to take forever to do a single hit, and because the damages are not massive, it could go on for a long time. It's just that the special effects are what makes it shorter, right? Compel surrender, stun location, drop weapon, all that kind of stuff is really I think you're less likely to just kill a guy than just get him to surrender or knock him out or render him, useless
Actually
in combat.
defeat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, it does a good job of mimicking or simulating the effects of actually really taking an injury. Like generally, if you've ever taken a real injury, you're just like, oh, I'm done. My heart might still be beating, but I think I'm done. Like whatever activity I was doing, fighting or anything else, yeah, I'm all done.
As an example, the sword hit that Elaine did at 3 points. This is some kind of light one, like maybe he was too close, so he hit closer to the hilt. There's not as much force behind the swing, not as much speed. So he was wearing 2 points of armor. He had armor protection of 2. So only 1 point gets through. And if he's as tough as you guys, right, that's 5 or 6 hit points in that location. That's painful, and it's something that you don't like, but you probably fight through it. But then in the other arm, from Ivan, right, we get a 3-point hit, stripping that down to like a quarter of its total hit points coming off in that moment. Much closer to 0, where all the serious permanent effects lie. And a two-handed sword, as one of its special effects, has sunder. Meaning being able to cut apart pole arms and things like that. So the psychological idea of that's what he hit me with, should play in, I think, to the decision.
Hashtag all dice are narrative.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
It
was cool. Like,
go on.
Go ahead.
Even though we laughed about it and stuff, it was cool, like having that thing where he could use a defensive special effect or what it happened to be, where I hit Elaine in the head with a rock, which is very unfortunate. Of course, we laugh, but really, if you take away us laughing about it, it's like, oh crap, we're really that close to each other. He was really able to roll Elaine right in the path of what I was going to hit him in the arm, and I was like, oh, sorry, dude. Unfortunately, it wasn't bad, but it kind of brings you right into this mindset of, oh wow, I could really injure my friend because we're in a scrum at this point. Practically, we're right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So. Yeah, and like Jose just said, I mean, you listen to the dice. Where is everything? So how do I blind Fritz with this rock hit, right? And as soon as you enter that territory of I don't know how to do that, then that's not where you want to be. But it makes perfect sense that he hits the wrong guy. Right? I don't have to apply any damage. I just have to apply the special effect, and it might have been trip, or it might have been overextend, or it could have been any one of a bunch of things. And
I think the other thing is sometimes you just choose the effect because it's what it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
You could always optimize and always go for the headshot and always goes for the maximum damage, whatever it is. But sometimes it's just, I caught him, so maybe it's a bleed, or or maybe I'm just pressing the advantage, right? So because that's what it feels like. So it makes it
I like
interesting.
that stack sequence that you had, like you chose press the advantage. So right, he's surrounded. He can't figure out how to attack. He can't bring his weapon to bear. His weapon's not appropriate anyway. And then he takes this massive hit and it's like gets knocked down and surrender, or you're like that other guy. It's like
So
all
it's-
right.
It's earned. It's earned because he's at a severe disadvantage. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, thanks for playing with me at the crack of dawn, or
Thank you.
the crack
Thanks
of
for running
evening
this.
over here.
Thank you for running
was
it.
cool.
Yeah.
That was cool. It's actually, I'll tell you what, even just the endurance rolls and the everything else made simply trekking through the mountains fun. Like it wasn't just like, and you go through another day. It was, just that was kind of cool.
It's not something I'd want to do all the time, unless it was like a campaign where travel was a feature.
Yeah.
But I also didn't want to start in the Hall of the Mountain King kind of thing and say, be aggressive, go, let's fight, So
Right. That was cool.
And it's not as simple a situation as that, because as we've said, winter's setting in. So you might be stuck there for a season. So if you kill the Mountain King on the first day, what are you going to do for the rest of the winter with everybody else looking at you, right? So, you got to pick your moments. So I don't know. It's really interesting. And now they've seen us kill a prisoner, one of their own. But he's alive. We didn't kill the second guy. We haven't killed him yet, at least. What does he tell the king when he goes back, right? How do we treat him to prevent him from speaking ill of us and getting us all killed by the Mountain King and his minions on sight?
right.
Or do we kill him to hide to prevent him from talking? And then still, do we hide the bodies? Do we bury them? Do we leave them in the open? What happens? It's
And you get to escape all these consequences.
Yeah.
It's like I'll read about it in the
You started all this trouble, and now
Elaine finally takes a nap. I'm not going any further.
I'll have you know that I did not compel him to surrender. That was you. Yeah.
That's the other fun thing is watching the characters actually show up. Because it's funny. I'm laughing a little bit, or like kind of more horrified, because if you look at this from the outside, certainly I look like a stereotypical D&D murder hobo. I'm like, I'm just killing everybody. But on the inside, I'm like, well, this guy is just broken. Like Fritz is just broken, and like he is doing things he normally would not do. And he's been turned into a heartless killer because he had everything taken from him.
And I'm kind of enjoying playing that, because we never play that. We're always the super honorable guys and always take the high road and always get screwed as a consequence for it. And now it's like, well, let's not do that. So
playing this guy on a one-way trip is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
The passions are kind of like that little voice in your ear saying, there's what you want and what you should do, but
Exactly.
All right, guys.
All right.
Go back to bed.
Yeah.
all right. Thanks a lot. It was a lot of fun, guys. Take care.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Take
Take
care.
it easy.
Guys. Bye-bye.